In episode 73, we told you 5 ways to win your summer. Today, we are going to tell you 4 ways to end your summer and to end it on purpose so that your family can win.
That's right. I'm sure you've seen the pictures all over social media of moms feeling exuberant, like a picture of her, and then the kids are walking onto the school bus. And the truth is, that's actually a reality. I looked up statistics on this, and 76% of parents express explicit happiness about their children returning to school. 67% of parents state that they find the standard American summer vacation to be entirely too long, and 54% of parents admit to pure relief at the thought of having some time away from their kids once the new term starts. So that image of that mom feeling so exuberant, like that is a picture of the majority of parents, how they feel when their kids return to school, which makes me so sad. I've had conversations with moms throughout the years, and it's like, oh, it's spring break. Oh, it's Christmas break. It's summer break. They can't wait for their kids to go back to school. And it makes me so sad. Like, no, treasure them, enjoy them. And so we want to be countercultural. I want everyone to be sad that school is starting because you're used to having this extra time with the people that you love most. I want moms and dads to feel sad that school's starting, not, hey, let's have a celebration.
What's funny about that is the contradicting perspective and language, because I too have seen those photos or heard those things about kids going off to school and everybody celebrating. Yet many of our friends are in the same season we are, with teenagers, perhaps upper teens, or maybe one's already left the house. And you also hear comments like, time just goes so fast. And I wish I had more time with them, or I didn't do enough, or I wish I would have done more. And it's this, well, hey, today's the day. Now's the opportunity to do more, because if we wish today away for tomorrow, then tomorrow we're going to miss today.
Yep. That's right. That's right.
Let's make the most of it. We gave you 5 tips on how to win your summer. Now, let's talk about 4 ways to end your summer well, end it strong, and end it on purpose. You ready, babe?
I'm ready. Let's go.
Okay, rock and roll. Number 4, top of the list. I guess you'd say bottom of the list. First one we talk about, it is spring forward, don't fall back. Spring forward, don't fall back. In my mind, that means, hey, summer's wrapping up. For most of us, we have a couple weeks left, maybe a few weeks or even a month in some of the cooler places, cooler weather places. They don't get hot. But a month left with our kids that are in the home before school starts, school activities. Athletic practices have probably already started. But how do we spring forward into the fall? Because you and I both know once fall gets started, man, end of the year is right around the corner. We have a couple of weeks left. How do we use these few weeks to make sure we spring forward into the fall with new habits, new ideas, new expectations, and really prepare for the fall on purpose?
I like this term that you've made up, spring forward, don't fall back, because you rarely hear spring forward unless it has to do with daylight savings time and it's in March.
Right.
So it's interesting to hear it. Okay, it's summertime. Let's spring forward. So explain more about that, babe.
Oh, okay. I will. Well, I just think now is the time, just like every season when you go through a transition, now is a great time before you cross the threshold, before you open that door, before the kids load on the bus, before practices start or PTA meetings go or band practice is there. Let's pause, gather our thoughts. Like a team in the locker room before the game begins, let's have a game plan. Let's look at what's ahead of us. In the sports world, there's lots of film, right? You can watch the other team, break it down and see who are their star players? How are we going to defend it? How are we going to score? What's our game plan? How are we going to attack? And I think every family needs that for the fall. What's going to happen? What are the activities? How are we going to defend our core values and the things that are important to us? And how are we going to attack what's in front of us so that we can win each and every opportunity and moment.
I love that.
I think we have to spring forward, not just fall back into previous habits.
Mhm.
Well, this is what we always do in the fall. Oh yeah, I'm just going to fall back and sit for a second and enjoy these last couple weeks before things get busy.
Mhm.
No, let's get after it and win, because it's like when people live on a budget, it's counterintuitive, but it actually is more freeing than it is restrictive.
Yep.
And if we have a plan on how we're going to spring forward into the fall, I think counterintuitively, we feel freer, we feel stronger, more confident.
I agree. I love it.
Any other ways that you would throw in there for ways to spring forward?
Well, I'm a planner. I'm a paper calendar planner. I'm one of those gals that's still using the paper calendar, but I like to look ahead, like you're saying, and show, okay, this is what our schedule is looking like. I loved every bit of it. Everything that you said resonates with me and speaks to my heart. Like, yes, let's protect what's important to us. Let's protect our family. Let's protect our core values. Let's protect our time. I think it's so wise. So wise.
Well, I think probably you know this, and we'll say it. The greatest thing we can do is pause, see God, see what He has for us, and then get together as a family, have a conversation. And I think this doesn't have to be some gigantic, overwhelming, map out every day kind of thing. I think it could be as simple as, hey guys, I need 15 minutes. Everybody in here. Here's what I've got for the fall. You've got volleyball. You've got band. You've got this. I've got this work trip coming up. We have a family vacation. We're going to grandma's at Thanksgiving. Am I missing anything else? Okay, we've got it all, guys. How are we going to be a team to attack all of these things? 20 minutes.
Yep.
It reminds me of the episode we just launched, episode 82, where we talk about correction with connection. And you say, you just get aligned and you go make it happen. That's all you do, guys.
Yep.
Get aligned, have a family meeting, make it fun, bring out the cookies, and wrap it up. Let's have a plan for the fall and then go execute.
It's great. Love it. All right. What's number 3?
Number 3, celebrate wins. In our 5 ways to win the summer in episode 73, one of the charges that we gave to people, actually 2 of them would apply here. And that is get better and set goals. And so if we're going to win the summer, if we're going to end it well, let's pause, look back and see what ground did we take? Where did we get better? Where did we improve? What goals did we accomplish?
That's great. That's great. Now, if you haven't seen that episode and you didn't make goals or work on self-improvement over the summer, still celebrate the wins. Like, there are wins in your summer.
Absolutely.
I think for me, something that always triggers my memory is actually looking at the pictures through my cell phone, because you actually forget how many things that you do over the course of the summer. And it becomes foggy because days are busy. There's activity. And so scroll through your pictures on everyone's phone and celebrate those fun times. Oh yeah, we had this game night and played this, or we went to the outdoor movie theater, whatever those things are. I think that anything that brings you joy is worth celebrating. Even wins, like if a baby learns to walk over the summer, all right, he or she learned how to walk, or whatever those milestones are, celebrate. Take time to actually celebrate. And when we do that, I think that it stirs our heart to give thanks to God. I think that celebration brings gratitude. And so praising God, like, don't leave Him out of your celebration. Like, oh wow, God, you provided this. You allowed us to do this.
I agree. I think that's a great way to look at it. It doesn't have to be some monumental accomplishment. 4th of July, it was raining. I mean, there was a gigantic storm. But Sawyer said, hey, look, we need to get on the roof and look at some fireworks because that's our tradition. And she brought up, she said, I don't care if it is one firework in the neighborhood and not the big show, because the show got postponed to the next day. We need to have this tradition. So we got on the roof before the rain came. We could see it in the distance, and it was pretty cool to watch lightning and stuff. But we got on the roof. We saw some fireworks throughout the neighborhood and other neighborhoods, and we said, check that one off. We we conquered the tradition. We took a photo and we can celebrate that. Hey guys, we kept the tradition alive. Isn't that fun?
Yep.
Like that's enjoyable.
Mhm.
That in itself is a win. I think you mentioned, hey, remember when we went for ice cream? We had a Sunday at the house. Celebrate it. That's
Yeah.
great. I had so much fun making memories with you. We can look back and remember and celebrate. The summer of 2026 was a great summer. And here's why. Boom, 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 boom. If you did set goals, I encourage families, celebrate those. Look back, actually take account and go, I set this goal and I accomplished it. Or I set this goal and I didn't, but here's what I did gain.
Right.
Here's what I did accomplish. Here's what how I did move forward, because that's the only way we get better.
That's good. All right, babe, what is number 2?
Number 2, make one more memory as a family. That's what we encourage you to do.
Yep, absolutely. I think when this episode comes out, there's going to be some schools that are starting within a couple weeks of that. So you might have a 10-day countdown to make your memory, or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, whatever that is. But come together as a family and decide, hey, we want to make this final memory together, and make memories throughout your couple of weeks remaining, but have one that is intentional, purposeful, significant. Get after it.
Yeah. I mean, go to the drive-in.
Mhm.
Or I was telling a buddy the other day, he and his family were headed out of the state on a short 3 or 4 day just family trip to do something. And I said, hey, here you go. Let's win the trip. And I encourage you, find one day or one thing and just splurge on it.
Mhm.
Whether it's a fancy restaurant or ice cream for everybody or go-karts, or hey, splurge on one thing to make a memory on that trip as a family. And that's all it takes.
Yep.
And so the same thing applies to you here in the last couple weeks of summer. As you wind down and end well, I encourage you, find one thing and splurge on it. Jump out on it.
You can spend a resource of your time.
Yeah.
Maybe be extravagant with your time. That, hey, I'm all in. Normally I need to work tonight. No way. I'm pushing work to the side. I'm all in with my family. I'm going to make that memory.
Well,
Give what you have in time or more, you know.
I think it's a great point, because it doesn't have to cost to make this final memory. It could be a family cooking day. It could be a hike or a bike ride, or just, it will take, you know what it will take? It might not take money, but it does take intentionality
Yes.
and forethought to think, what's one thing that we can enjoy? I'm going to look at the schedule, find a day. We've got nothing this evening, so we're going to plan to go do this.
Right. Right.
I think it's a good point. It
Yep.
doesn't have to be money,
I agree.
but you're incredibly intentional on one more thing.
Because I think some of my favorite things to do with you all doesn't cost anything.
Yeah.
Like game nights, that's my favorite night. Being face to face with you three, I love that. I love it. I love our obstacle courses that we do. Most of the stuff that I enjoy doesn't cost.
Maybe we'll set up one more obstacle course during this summer.
You're going to have to make it in the evening or
when
early
it's
morning
not
for
a
the
million
heat.
degrees outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. So make a good memory together, because, and I'll probably say this again during the podcast, is that people will not always remember what you say, but they'll always remember the way that you make them feel. And so as they look back on their childhood, your kids, or you look back on raising your kids, like, oh yeah, I remember when we camped in a tent in the backyard, whatever it is, make a good memory with your kids.
Yep. That's it. We did that. And it was so windy. You remember that? Golly.
I think I came in, I think
Yeah.
half of us came in and half of us stayed out
I
there.
think so. It was hot.
Yeah. It was hot and windy.
And then it was bright, like at 5:30 in the morning.
Mhm.
Great experience. But that's the memory.
Mhm.
That's the memory. Doesn't have to cost money. It does have to be intentional. Make one more memory with your family so that you can end the summer well. What's the last one, babe?
All
Probably
right.
the most important way to end the summer. What do families need to know and or remember or be intentional about?
Number one for the summer, how to end your summer well, is to be all in. Give all of yourself over the remainder. Be all in. Put your phone down and your head up. Let go of distractions. Let go of Saying no to everything. Be all in with your time and with your attention. So, right here, that same phrase of people won't always remember what you say, but they'll always remember how you feel totally applies. Like, hey, my mom made space for me. She made time for me. My dad, he put that phone to the side and he would just look me in the eyes and give me his attention.
It's good.
So be all in.
Okay, how can they do that like practically? What would that look like? You got 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks till summer's over, school starts. What does be all in look like?
I would say, as Psalm 90:12 tells us, to teach us to number our days so that we may gain a heart of wisdom. Number your days until school starts. Like, okay, I only have 10 days left. Man, if there's an opportunity to hang out with my kids and I can, I'm going to do it. I'm going to stay off of my phone. I'm not going to be distracted by scrolling. I'm going to have extra conversations. Um, just have an extra attentive heart to be with your kids. That's what I think being all in is. What do you think?
I think it's good. And I think it's more than just kids. I think it's be all in as a family.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's be all in with your spouse, be all in with your kids, be all in with your brother or sister.
Yeah, that's good, babe.
I love that Psalm 90:12 on number your days. Hey, it might even be fun to have a countdown chart on the wall as a reminder. Or we talked about marbles in a bucket and you take one out, or you move them from this one to that one, or some way to visualize how few days there are remaining, so that it almost grips us as a way to look and think of, oh gosh, I got to do something. Um, and it doesn't have to be, again, expensive or big or extravagant, but it does have to be intentional. Let's be all in. Maybe it's you take an extra day of vacation before the end of the summer. And that Monday or Friday or Wednesday is the, hey, I want to come alongside. Maybe we can spend all day Thursday getting our school supplies ready.
Mm-hmm.
I remember growing up and school supply day was like one of my favorite days. Going to the store, buying folders and binders and pens and a pencil box. And it was a blast.
Yeah.
Maybe that's it. Let's be all in and do that together as a family. Or maybe we just spend extra time together in the evenings. Hey guys, let's turn off the TV and have a conversation or play a board game or go for a family walk. Let's be all in as a family because that's what matters.
I agree 100%.
And that's how I think we can spring forward, not fall back. That's how we can make a memory. That's how we can remind ourselves and celebrate the wins that we have. We got to be all in.
Yep. One way that you can be all in is pray with your kids about this upcoming school year. Hey, okay, you're starting this grade. Tell me, what are your hopes? What are your dreams? What are your fears in this school year? Give me specifics. Like, I want to know how to pray for you. And that'll change throughout the school year. But starting off, you're already starting in prayer. Start off with blessing them, with just calling out the good that's going to come in this year and just empowering them and confidence to walk with the Lord in their school year.
I agree. I think that's great. I think you brought up a great idea. I mean, praying for them is the best thing you can do. And then having conversations. Hey, that's a great way to be all in. Having a conversation about the summer and having a conversation about the fall. Hey, I love the question of, hey, what are you afraid of in this fall? And what are you hopeful for? What's one thing you're nervous about? What was one thing you're nervous about in the summer, but you're glad it worked out? Or what was your favorite part of the summer? Just having those conversations. And of course, the greatest way that I could encourage you is write it down. Send yourself an email, send them an email, write it in a journal, put a note in your phone so that you don't miss it. I know you love scrolling back through photos. Man, every once in a while I'll run across a random note in my phone or an email, and it's like a treasure. You're like, oh, I totally forgot about that conversation. And here's this funny thing, or what you wanted for Christmas or what I wanted for Christmas. And it's a joy to run across it.
For sure. For sure. And I think when we have those markers, it allows you to recount God's goodness. Hey, we've come this far. We're still working. We're still going. God is faithful.
Now is your chance to end the summer well. You will blink and fall will be here and you'll be in the middle of everything. But right now you have the opportunity to pause, to breathe, and to be intentional with the time you have left. These 4 great ways to end your summer are just a drop in the bucket. They're not prescriptive. They are ideas that you can use to win, because we want you to win at home, and we want you to be so intentional and so purposeful in the home that it becomes your favorite place. So thanks for joining us. Check out familyonpurpose.net. Partner with us, like, share, and subscribe this episode with somebody that you know needs it. And we will see or talk to you next time.